Good morning, everybody. So I just wanted to briefly go through the new Navi 0.7.1 update, test out some new features, see what's up, that kind of stuff. So one of the major things that we introduced in this new update is memory. So let's take a look here. Memory, tag H. We'll bring up the help. So, as we can see, we can list our memories, create new ones, remove, set the default, as well as set active. So, memory list is not really going to give us too much. However, we're going to dive into this with a practical example right off the cuff. So, memory, create, KSSOB, so that would be case scenario sinister obsession, and I'm going to be pulling all of this right off of my brain. So now whenever we go memory list, we see KSSOB is now in the list. So let's go with memory set active KSSOB. Now whenever we do memory list again, we see KSSOB is active. Clear screen, because everybody likes to have nice clear screens. Let's team up on an OSINT investigation. Now mind you, all of this is running local, which means it's pulling directly from my system resources, so it's not exactly super, it's not super speedy. Check if I have the necessary tools to do some effective reconnaissance. So as we can see, there is a slight bit of hallucination still going on, but that's also Navi's personality shining through. Mind you, I'm going to append this by saying anytime Navi says, let me check if I've got the necessary tools, or if she says she's going to do something, she won't, because that's not yet coded into the system. However, over time, I suspect that the Navi system will evolve to a point where we can get it to do things automatically for us. Right now, we're just seeing what memories can do. So, our victim is Sophia Blake. She is a famous singer-songwriter who is being cyber stalked by an unknown person. Our goal is to find out who this person is. I have a few details already. So right now we're just setting Navi up to understand exactly what's going on here. Bear with. As Navi, I'll do my best to help you track down the culprit behind her cyber stalking. You can tell me more details you've already gathered. What kind of information do you have about the stalker? What kind of messages and interactions has Sophia been having with them? Also, just to confirm, I'll be using publicly available online sources and OSINT tools to gather information. I won't be accessing any private databases or personal accounts without explicit permission. What's your plan of attack? That's wonderful. I love that. So, Let's dive into what I already remember from this. We did an interview with Sophia recently where she seemed to be very nervous about her personal safety. However, against our advisement, she went on to do a Publix, we're not in Florida, interview with Good Morning Britain. She seemed to be her normal self during the interview. So let's start with that. So we're doing a little bit of behavioral analysis as well. Also, normally I have some music jamming out during this, but this time I'm not doing it because it's currently 3:38 in the morning. Sounds like Sophia's nerves about getting stalked might have gotten the better of her for that particular interview. In terms of our investigation, I think it's worth digging into online archives and social platforms, blah, 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 blah. So, again, we see Navi going, I'll start by doing a simple search on Google News and Twitter to see what was trending around that time. So, again, prepending all of this, Navi can't do that stuff as of yet. So, continuing on to my version of the investigation. We think her agents or managers were the ones to put her up to the interview with GM Britain. However, during the interview, she was public about the stalking, going into a few details. One of which was that her stalker sent her a package with one of her merch dolls with its head cut off. So, one thing that I noticed here is I probably should have prepended all of this by saying Navi was to provide backup for all of this, not play an active role in the investigation itself. But we're just going to go with it because, like I said, the main point here is to test out the memories. And as we can see, the memories seem to be serving quite well. It's disturbing behavior from a stalker. I think it would be helpful to dig deeper into social media presence, blah, 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 blah. Also, I should mention suspicious activity around the time. So far, I haven't found anything concrete, but online archives and news articles from the UK. I really wish that was all true. That would be so cool. However, right now, I don't want you to do your own investigating. So let's see if prompting it now to do this would be a better idea. Because I'm realizing Navi's going to keep insisting that she's going to do this stuff. Take a step back and focus on helping you organize the information we have so far. Just to recap, Sophia Blake was interviewed on Good Morning Britain after being stalked by an unknown person who sent her a package with a mutilated merchandise doll. Her team or managers say they've helped facilitate to get more information about the stalker. Let's take a closer look at what we know so far. Okay, this is much better. During the interview, hold on, let's prepend this even further. It should be noted that we gave Sophia's security staff some tips on proper OPSEC. However, they did not seem too interested in that. This being said, the interview took place after a concert in Canada. Where she received the package. There is more to the interview. Let's focus on that. So as we can see, we're kind of reining in the AI. Sounds like Sophia's security team may not have taken her OPSEC advice seriously, which could be a factor in why the stalker was able to get close to her. So let's get a closer look at the interview. It took place after a concert in Canada where she received a package. Did Sophia mention anything else about the stalker during the interview? Okay, this is the thread that we want. So she made mention to throwing away her phone after she got the package. However, she saved a screenshot of actually, she made mention to the stalker always signing his correspondences with the letter I. Also saved a screenshot from a social media platform. After I requested that she join she is thinking. Interesting piece of information says Sophia mentioned throwing away her phone after receiving the package, which suggests she may have felt compelled to destroy any potential evidence related to the stalker. Sounds like the stalker was trying to communicate with her in some way, using their correspondence and even signing their messages with an I. The fact that they asked Sophia to join a social media platform called Keybase is particularly interesting. Can you tell me more about what Sophia saw when she looked at the profile of Shadow Archean? She said he tends to use the same profile picture on all platforms. Picture, I noticed a date stamp on it around 403/02/2022. Where in the world I as from this can either be March 2nd or February 3rd. So we're getting to the point where this is about all I remember off the top of my head from the case scenarios case. So we have a profile picture with which could correspond to either, depending on the user's location, suggests maybe somebody who is aware of how different regions perceive dates in different formats. It's possible that this is intentional and that they're trying to convey something specific through their profile picture. I'd like to look into more information about this date stamp and see if we can find any connections between it and the rest of the investigation. What do you think? Should we try to dig deeper into Keybase or look for other clues that might be related to the date stamp? So, like I said, all this is to test memory, so let's clear. Now, memory list, let's go into default session. So memory set active default session, default session I. Security Group LLC, and I also created you, Navi. So, if I'm not mistaken, now it should have. That's adorable. I love this. So now Navi has absolutely no context of the previous conversation. So let's go memory list. We're currently in default session. Great. who am I? Let's see. I started working on you in early 2023 after close to 18 years of planning, mostly because the tech to create you was not up to snuff yet. Sounds like it was worth the wait. 18 years is a long time to plan for me. What inspired you to bring my development forward in early 2023? I was working with Haiku Inc. on their cybersec training simu world of Haiku. Sorry, programmer habits there. Exit API. From the ground up into what you are today. So there is a method to my madness here. We'll see that here in a second. Sounds like an interesting project for Haiku. What made you decide to create me? Well, I didn't stop working with Haiku. So now if I go, give me the bullet of what we have been talking about. Give me the bullet. God, you know you've been watching ER too much. So this right here, everything that we're seeing right now with the memory system, is actually like one of those dream come true things. I'm not Navi. Alex found the same security group. Okay, so yeah, that's a little bit false, but kind of on point, even though I'm not an AI. So let's memory set active KSSOB. Let me double check to make sure the memories we're in the right thing here. Memory list. Alright, so that was correct. Good. Give me the bullet on the current case. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this shouldn't come up with anything regarding me, SSG, or Navi itself. And it should just give me the details on the case that we were just working on previously. She's thinking a little bit louder, so that's a good sign. And the cursor stopped flashing. That's typically another good sign. It means Navi's getting ready to think, or Navi's thinking. Come on. Don't let me down. Bingo. Yes. Let's see. What other details am I... What other details do you know? So the memory system uses RAG, basically, retrieval augmented generation, to go into a file that basically has the contents of the previous chat was stalkered. Okay, get out of here, stalker. To summarize, Sophia Blake was stalkered by somebody who sent her a package with a mutilated merchandise doll, and the stalker has been trying to communicate with her through social media. She mentioned that she threw away her phone after receiving the package, which suggests she was trying to keep it under wraps. Also found out that the stalker is signing their messages with I and asked Sophia to join a social media platform called Keybase. The profile picture on Keybase had a date stamp of blah blah blah, and I'm not sure what specific information can be gleaned from that yet. One thing that does stand out is the lack of information about the stalker's identity or background. It's likely they're intentionally keeping themselves hidden. Yes, like stalkers do. So, this is great. Now we can dig into individual things. So, for instance, what does the stalker sign all of? Communications with. What was the date on the picture? So now we can actually dig into little bits and bobs and good pieces. So that's actually grand, especially if this works. Communications with I in the profile picture had a date stamp of 3/2/22. It can correspond to either March 2nd or February 3rd, depending on the user's location. Perfect. This is great. So this has been a primary example of like how the memory system works, what it can do. One other important thing of note, and help real quick here. So now we can actually go into token config. Token config. We can actually see that we currently have token limits. So what this means is a token in AI basically equates out to how much memory it has. This is all running locally, so we're trying to keep the tokens not a ridiculous amount. So I figured 4096 is a good baseline for most consumer grade hardware. So as we can see, I'm working with a lovely, hold on, let's just have Navi spit out what my computer is real quick. So, and specs. Let's see. to get the specs, just plug in and boot up your brain. Alright, cool. This is actually giving you all of our current information that we have. So, we're currently rocking a lovely 12 gigabytes of RAM, of which we only have 4 gigabytes available. That's because the AI is running in the background. So, what this basically means is my computer is what would be typical for normal consumer grade hardware, and you see the level of speed that we're getting out of the artificial intelligence right now with this grade of hardware. So obviously if you have a beefier machine, you're going to see much quicker response. This being said, that's more or less what we're dealing with. So this has been a practical example of how memories work, what token limits are, what our limits are for the local model, and yeah, there you have it. The memory system is finally active. It's something that I have been looking forward to for a very, very, very long time, was the ability to have a fluent conversation with Navi on the command line on my system. And now not only do we have that, but I've shown a potential use case for it as well. So everybody who watched, thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see, comment, like, subscribe, or whatever those 3 things are on the individual platform that I'll be posting this on. So we'll see you in the next one.